Rar rar, stomp stomp. Rar rar, stomp stomp. Rar rar, stomp stomp.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. I am Dolla Docta Jennifer, your part-time reseller, full-time veterinarian, and we have a video today, another animal investigation, and it is brought to you by Patrick Murphy because I bought this really cool Deadpool comic book that had all these different animals on it. And as you can see by the title, today is lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. So we have a couple animals to go over today. I've got my notes and we're going to get right into it because this is going to be kind of long, I think. So we're starting off today with the African elephant. There are two types. There's African bush and African forest elephants. They're both social herbivores with gray skin, but they differ in size and color a little bit. Their tusks are also a little different, as well as the shape of their ears and skull. In general, though, you can tell a African elephant from an Asian elephant based on their ears and some other characteristics. I'll throw in a little comparison chart here. They are at heavy risk of extinction due to habitat loss and illegal poaching. So I'm sure people know elephants are poached for the ivory in their tusks. It's sadly been going on for a very long time. Another difference between them and the Asian elephant is what their teeth look like. Their teeth are more a diamond rhombus shape, while Asian elephants have more rounded teeth. They have two finger-like processes on the trunk that do help them pick up things and manipulate things. They can be pretty smart with their trunks and do a lot of different activities with them. Their large ears also help with body heat distribution or getting rid of body heat, like sweating for us, as they are, usually in a very hot climate. And their African elephants, their ears are usually in the shape of Africa. I know, it's pretty spot on, right? Their trunks are prehensile, which means they can use them to lift and do other things with them. They can actually lift about 3%. Is it 3? My handwriting is horrible. They can lift about 3% of their own body weight with their trunks, and they use the trunk for touch, feel, drinking, certain sounds, and they can actually use it as a snorkel when they're swimming underwater as well, and they can also defend attackers with it. So that's pretty cool. Both males and females have tusks, and they grow from deciduous teeth called tushes. I know. I really shouldn't laugh at that. Anyway, and they're replaced at approximately a year of age with the tusk, and they're primarily used for digging roots and stripping bark from trees, and then fighting during mating season as well, and defending against predators occasionally. The tusks actually continue to grow throughout their life. Oh, that's it. They just continue to grow throughout their life. This is going really well, guys. Elephant molars, which are like, our back teeth, weigh 11 pounds each. And they replace their teeth actually 4 to 6 times in their life. I would say that's probably because they eat so much stuff that they wear down. So they just need a backup every now and then. They are the largest terrestrial animal, and they usually live in family units led by an older cow or female. Female power! And she's called the matriarch. The bulls only return to breed or socialize. They are absent parents. Girls, So their gestation period, I would not wish this on anyone, is 2 years long, or about 22 months. They give birth every 3 to 6 years. The males actually usually only stay for about a month after breeding, and then they move on to spread their seeds elsewhere, as men do. African culture does revere the African elephant as a symbol of strength and power. So that's a little bit about the African elephant. I liked this comic because the African elephant is holding a gun in its trunk. So that's kind of funny. Moving on to tigers, because, you know, that's what it's called, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. The tiger is the largest living cat species. They're without natural predators. They do tend to eat hoofed mammals or ungulates. They have dark vertical stripes on an orange background with a white underside usually. And they are an apex predator that primarily eats deer, wild boar. They are territorial, so they do tend to be solitary creatures. But the cubs do stay with the mom for approximately 2 years after giving birth. Then they leave. They are also an endangered species. India has the largest population right now of tigers. Issues causing their demise are habitat destruction and poaching, kind of like the elephant. They are featured very prominently in mythology and folklore. They are the national animal of India, Malaysia, Bangladesh, and South Korea. They sometimes cross with lions to make ligers and tigans or tigans. Liger's like my favorite animal.
What's a liger?
It's pretty much my favorite animal. It's like a lion and a tiger mixed. Bred for its skills and magic.
Tiger coat pattern is still visible when shaved. It's the hair follicles that you're seeing. They do have sexual dimorphism, where the female is smaller than the male. And they do have color variations. So there is a white tiger, golden, and a nearly stripeless snow tiger, or snow white tiger. I wonder if it lives with dwarves. But most of these are virtually non-existent in the wild anymore. They are mostly associated with forest habitats. It's great for camouflage and hunting prey. And they are very strong swimmers as well. To ID territories, males mark trees with urine, anal glands, feces, all the things. They will mark the ground sometimes with their claws as well. Both males and females have the phlegm response, grimace when sniffing urine markings. You may sometimes see this also in domestic cats. I call it stinky face. Rupert, my cat that's passed away, used to do an amazing stinky face all the time. They are mainly nocturnal predators, but they can reach speeds of 30 to 40 miles per hour when running, but only in short bursts. They're not distance runners. Larger prey, they kill most larger prey by strangulation versus actually, you know, like ripping or anything. They latch onto the throat area. And then in smaller prey, they bite the nape of the neck and break the spine, and that's how they kill them usually. Can also pierce the carotid or jugular and sever the windpipe. Not a good way to go. Just saying, like, that's a lot of neck action that I don't want. They mate year-round, and gestation is about 93 to 114 days. And males will kill the cubs sometimes to make the female receptive again, and sooner. Males again. The mortality cub rate is about 50% in the first 2 years. So that's not the best survival rate in anything. I mean, you get a 50-50 chance of living. I feel like the Squid Games might be even better than that. I don't know. So another issue is that they do use tiger parts for amulets in South and Southeast Asia. So that is one of the reasons that they are poached. China, they use other parts for medicinal properties, painkillers, and aphrodisiacs, but there's no science that actually says that these work. There's no evidence that there's anything actually helpful about the tiger parts. There are the issue of man-eaters, and these are tigers that have gotten too used to humans and being around them. There was a movie about this, and I can't remember what it was. I saw it as a kid, I feel like. I'll try and pop it in if I can find out what it was. It was like a really scary kind of movie. So that man-eaters can be an issue in populated areas. The tiger is one of the 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac. I don't know what everyone's zodiac is. I'm a monkey. Fitting, right? I am monkey in the Chinese zodiac. The tiger was Imperial China's personification of war and represented the highest army general. In Buddhism, the tiger is one of the 3 senseless creatures symbolizing anger. There's mascots of tigers all over the world, and probably one of the most known ones is Tony the Tiger for Frosted Flakes, and Clemson Tigers, because that's nearby. So, and I have friends that went there. So, Clemson, Virginia Tech's better. Anyway, that was a tiger, a little bit of information about the tiger. We are moving on now to black bears. So the black bear is an omnivore. Most bears are, or a lot of bears are. It's not closely related to the brown bear or the polar bear genetically. They're reproductively compatible with several other bear species, and occasionally produce hybrid offspring, but it's not very common. They are very much found in places with inaccessible terrain, thick understory vegetation, and large quantities of edible materials. They're very highly dexterous, and they can open screw-top jars and manipulate door latches. So watch out. You better have a bunch of locks on your door so the black bears don't come in. Their fur is very soft with a dense underfur and long coarse guard hairs. They don't have a shaggy look like the grizzly does. They have better eyesight and hearing than humans, and they do have the best sense of smell. They are very strong swimmers. They climb trees to feed and to hibernate. They are very territorial and not very social, so kind of like the tiger in that respect. They usually have their first litter around 3 to 5 years of age, and copulation can last like 20 to 30 minutes. Not bad, not bad. Both sexes are promiscuous. Which means they get around. They do have a 235-day gestation period, which seems awful. And they live about 18 years in the wild. They're not subjected to natural predation. And there's lots of different bears in media, movies. Winnie the Pooh is actually named after Winnipeg, a black bear cub at the London Zoo in 1915 to 1934. And then Smokey the Bear is the U.S. mascot of the U.S. Forest Service. Black bears come in more than just black. They can be cinnamon, blonde, blue-gray, or white. They're the most common and widely distributed species of bear in North America, and their diet depends on what's available. So if they live closer to the water or, the forest, it just depends on what they eat. They spend winters in dens, hollow trees, or logs, rock crevices, or under root masses, hibernating. And hibernation does depend on climate. So warmer areas, they don't hibernate as long, or sometimes they don't hibernate at all. They usually spend about 6 months hibernating. They don't drink, eat, or expel waste during this time. Oh, my tummy would hurt. And like I said, it can differ where they live. They live solitary except for mating season, and they usually mate in summer, but the embryos actually don't develop until denning or hibernation, and the cubs are born in the middle of winter and then obviously stay with the mom in their hibernation den growing. So then in the spring when they come out, the cubs are more able to protect themselves, although not very much, but they're bigger, and then they start learning all the other things they need to know in life. So that is a little bit about black bears, and they are kind of cute. Not as scary as next one, which is the grizzly bear. And you may wonder why I say this bear is a grizzly bear on the comic, and it is because of the hump, which I will get to in a minute. They are a subspecies of brown bear, and they live near the coast and inland. If they're on the coast, they are bigger in size. Inland, they are smaller. Although the color varies from blonde to nearly black, they're typically brown with darker legs and white or blonde tip fur on the flank and back. They have a very pronounced muscular hump as an adult between the shoulders. What? Are you grizzly? I don't think so. Their rump is actually lower than the shoulders, whereas in black bears, it's higher than the shoulders. The claws are approximately 2 to 4 inches long. They're like, hey girl. And the grizzly is represented on the state flag of California, which is interesting because they no longer live there. They are extinct in California, and the last one was killed in the Sierra foothills east of Fresno in the early 1920s. They have been extinct now in a couple different areas. I think Colorado was another one. They hibernate for 5 to 7 months of the year unless the warmer climate, kind of like black bears. They do give birth at this time, and they also do not poop or pee during hibernation. They can gain about 400 pounds during hyperphagia, which is basically the time before hibernation. They have an abnormally strong sensation of hunger or desire to eat. They build up the weight since they aren't going to be eating during that time. I wish I could do that. They normally are very solitary, just like everyone else, except for elephants today. They're active animals, and they will gather if they're coastal for salmon spawning. So that's when the salmon are jumping and they're all like, bah, 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 bah.
Time. The death of the salmon is the birth of the child, and the birth of the child, is dependent upon the death of the adult before them. They never meet. They never connect like so many other animals do.
They do actually have one of the lowest reproductive rates of any terrestrial animal in North America. They don't sexually mature until 5 years of age, and they do care for their cubs for about 2 years. And they don't mate at all during that period. They are also omnivores. I don't think I said that earlier. They do have a mutualistic relationship with fleshy fruit-bearing plants and the environment in general. The seeds excreted and dispersed after eating in their feces help spread different plants and fruits. They do stir up the soil when they're digging and hit nitrogen patches that are lower in the soil, and this increases species richness in alpine ecosystem. They are a lot more aggressive than the black bear. They do not climb trees well usually, and usually they don't look for attacking people. But if they're set upon and surprised, they may attack versus running away. The black bear will tend to run away. They are listed as threatened right now on the endangered species list. And then I'm going to do lions, but I've lost my lion notes for some reason. I don't know where they are. Lions have a very muscular, deep-chested body with short, rounded head and round ears and a hairy tuft at the end of its tail. It is sexually dimorphic as well, where the males are a lot larger than the females, and they do have a prominent mane, which the females do not have. They are a very social species, so they do form prides, and that is a group, and it's usually led by a few adult males, related females, and cubs. So females are the ones that hunt together and prey on mostly large ungulates. The lion is an apex and keystone predator. Keystone predator meaning it's a species which has a disproportionately large effect on its natural environment relative to its abundance. So they play a key role in maintaining the structure of an ecosystem, and they're apex predator, which means obviously, they're alpha predator, top predator. So, they're king of the jungle. Oh, good one. They will scavenge opportunities occasionally and take prey from other animals, but that happens rarely. They usually inhabit savannas, grasslands, shrublands, and dry deciduous forests. They're usually more diurnal than other wild cats, which means they're more active during the daytime, where a lot of cat and feline species are more active at night. So, but it depends. I mean, they can still be active at night, but it's more unusual. So lion populations are declining, and it looks like they've declined about 43% since the 90s. A lot of it they think is habitat loss and conflicts with humans. They are actually one of the most recognized animal symbols in human culture. They've been extensively rendered in sculptures and paintings, national flags, movies, The Lion King, and they are widely seen in menageries and zoos as well across the world, and they've been doing that since the late 18th century. Cultural depictions of lions were prominent in ancient Egypt as well, and they've been seen in many ancient and medieval cultures throughout history. They do think that they came from a more prehistoric animal. Back in the day, there was something called cave lions, and they were extinct during the last glacial period. There can be hybrids, as you heard in the tiger. The liger is bigger than a lion and a tiger, where the tigons are relatively small compared to their parents. There is also a lion leopard, which is a leopon, and I don't think I've ever seen one of those. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it in. The colors of the underparts are generally lighter. Newborn lions have dark spots that then fade as the cub reaches adulthood, although faint spots often can be seen on the legs and underparts as an adult. The lion is the only member of the cat family that displays obvious sexual dimorphism. Males have broader heads, prominent manes that grow down and backwards, covering most of the neck, head, shoulders, and chest. The mane is typically brownish and tinged with yellow, rust, and black hairs. The tail of all lions ends in dark, hairy tuft that some lions conceals an approximately 5 millimeter long hard spine or spur that is formed from the final few sections of tailbone. The functions are unknown. They just have a tail spur. The tuft is absent at birth and develops around 5.5 months of age. So the lion of the living felid species, the lion is rivaled only by the tiger in length, weight, and height at the shoulders. Its skull is very similar to that of the tiger, although the frontal region is usually more depressed and flattened. And due to the amount of skull variation in the two species, usually only the structure of the lower jaw can be used to reliably indicate which animal it is. There are color variations as well. The white lion is a very rare morph with a genetic condition called leucism, which is caused by a double recessive allele. So it basically causes pale or patchy coloration of the skin, hair. So that's interesting, and it's not an albino. It has normal pigmentation of the eyes and skin. White lions have been encountered in a couple different places. They were removed from the wild in the 1970s, decreasing the white lion gene pool. There have been 17 births between 2007 and 2015 of them in the wild. They have been reportedly been bred in camps in South Africa for trophies to be killed during canned hunts, which is kind of sad. I don't like that. So they are the most social of all the wild felid species, living in group of related individuals with their offspring, called the pride, which I talked about earlier. There are groups of male lions that live together as well, and they call them coalitions, which I think is funny. Females from a stable social unit do not tolerate outside females coming in. Membership changes only occur with births and deaths of lionesses. The lionesses got the power. Although some females leave and become nomadic. That would be kind of sad. So male cubs are kind of kicked out at around 2 to 3 years of age when they reach maturity, and then they have to go either find a male coalition or live by themselves for a while. They do have a area that is run by the pride called the pride area or range. And like I said earlier, the females are the ones that do most of the killing and bringing the food home to the men. Although they have no natural predators, most die violently from attacks by humans or other lions. Lions often inflict serious injury on members of other prides they encounter in territorial disputes, or a member of the home pride when fighting at a kill. Crippled lions and cubs may fall victim to hyenas and leopards or be trampled by buffalo or elephants. It's not a good life. Careless lions may be maimed when hunting prey, because a lot of their prey has horns and hooves and all that kind of stuff. Ticks commonly infest the ears, neck, and groin area of lions. I hate ticks. Gross. And there's an adult form of several tapeworm species that have been isolated from lion intestines after having been ingested in antelope meat. Lovely. Yuck. That's gross. I don't like that. This is interesting. Captive lions have been infected with canine distemper virus since at least the mid-1970s. Canine distemper is spread by domestic dogs and other carnivores. During an outbreak previously, several lions died from pneumonia and encephalitis. A feline immunodeficiency virus and lentivirus also affect captive lions. So I wonder if they vaccinate them. Doesn't say in here. As I'm sure you've seen, they've been in captivity for a very long time. Circuses, zoos, there's a ton of them in those types of situations. They can also have man-eater capabilities. They do not usually hunt humans, but sometimes males will seek them out. And they're usually larger than normal and lack manes. There was, someone I guess wrote a book about this kind of predatory behavior. Sick or injured animals may be more prone to man-eating, but the behavior is not unusual nor necessarily aberrant. There's a lot of cultural significance to lions. The lion is one of the most widely recognized animal symbols. As I said previously, it appears as a symbol for strength and nobility in cultures across Europe, Asia, and Africa. The lion has been depicted as king of the jungle, king of beasts, and become a popular symbol for royalty and stateliness. And it's also a big sporting team symbol. That is a little bit about the lion. That is our show today. I hope you found it enjoyable. Oh, also the cowardly lion from Wizard of Oz. It's another one. Anyway, you enjoyed this information. I hope you found it a little bit entertaining, and stay tuned for part 2 of this animal investigation Deadpool comic book. I will be doing the other animals that are on the cover at some point, hopefully soon. But like I said, these do take a little bit of research and time, so you know, have to give it time. Anyway, this will probably be the start of my, I'm not going to call it Vlogmas because it's just Vacationmas. Vacationmas? Mass? I don't know what to call it. You'll see in the title, I guess. I am going to Florida today. I am putting off packing some more. And yeah, we'll be headed down to the family for Christmas, and I will be seeing some people, and I hope to do a couple videos at least while I am gone. And this is my new camera, so yay, new camera, new phone. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one. Stay tuned for more animal investigation. And remember to help control the pet population and have your pets spayed or neutered. Bye, guys.